Today is October 8th, 2025, and something just happened that's turned the entire world of U.S. immigration completely on its head.
And it all comes down to this number, $100,000. Yep, you heard that right. That's the new fee that just got slapped onto H-1B visa petitions, and it's causing absolute chaos for companies and workers all across the U.S.
So let's get right into it. A federal judge could hit the pause button on this whole thing at any moment. And if you're a company that hires an H-1B visas, or if you're planning to apply for one yourself, what happens next literally decides your year. So stick with me because in the next few minutes, you're going to know exactly who pays, who's exempt, and what to watch for next with this new H-1B 100K fee. And we're going to do it all in plain English. All right, so how on earth did we get here? Let's back up and look at the announcement that started this whole firestorm.
Okay, just a super quick refresher for everyone. The H-1B visa, it's a really big deal. It's the main way U.S. employers bring in skilled workers for all kinds of specialized jobs. We're talking tech, healthcare, universities, you name it.
And look at how fast this all went down. A proclamation gets issued on a Friday, and less than 36 hours later, boom, the fee is in effect. Total panic over a single weekend. You had government agencies trying to explain the new rule, sometimes even contradicting each other. And just a couple of weeks later, it's already landed in federal court with a major lawsuit trying to block it. Just incredible. Okay, this brings us to the question that everyone is asking right now. Who actually has to cough up this new H-1B 100K fee? Let's break it down. So here's the short version based on what we're hearing from USCIS. The big thing to remember is location. This fee is aimed at new H-1B petitions for people who are currently outside the U.S. So if you're already here in the States and your job is just filing for an extension, or maybe you're transferring to a new company, you're probably in the clear, for now. And of course, if your petition was filed before that September 21st deadline, you're safe. But, and this is a huge but, while that sounds simple, there are some major gray areas causing a ton of confusion. Like, what if you're a student in the US on a student visa and you're trying to change to an H-1B? What about cap-exempt employers, nonprofits, hospitals, universities? The guidance has been silent on them. And get this, the proclamation mentions a national interest waiver, but gives absolutely no instructions on how to actually apply for it. So a lot of open questions. Now, this fee isn't just being accepted quietly, not at all. There is a major legal fight brewing right now that could stop this whole thing dead in its tracks. And you have to see who's suing. According to the Associated Press, on October 3rd, this incredibly broad group of organizations filed a lawsuit. It's not just tech companies. We're talking healthcare groups, major labor unions like the UAW, university professors, even K-12 schools and religious groups. It just goes to show you how widespread the impact really is. So what's their argument in court? Well, the legal complaint, which was filed by groups including Democracy Forward, lays out some really powerful claims against what the government did. Really, it all boils down to two big ideas. First, that the president went too far, and second, the government agencies broke a really important law called the Administrative Procedure Act, or APA. That's the law that basically says, hey government, if you're going to make a big new rule, you have to follow these steps. So their legal argument is basically a 1-2 punch. First, they're saying the president can't just create a new tax out of thin air. That's Congress's job. Second, they argue that the agencies totally skipped the required public notice impoundment period, which is a huge violation of that APA law. They call the rule arbitrary and capricious because it completely ignores the damage it's doing to hospitals and schools. So what are they asking for? They want the court to issue a temporary restraining order, a TRO, to freeze the fee immediately while the case is sorted out. And this isn't just some abstract legal battle. It is having a huge impact on real people and real businesses right now. Take healthcare. This fee could make doctor and nurse shortages even worse. The American Medical Association laid it out pretty clearly. If a hospital needs to hire, say, 50 foreign medical residents, that's now a $5 million bill they didn't have before. Their take? That's not going to happen. It's the same story for research in academia. There's a quote in the lawsuit about a university that just put a researcher's H-1B visa on hold indefinitely because of the fee. Think about that. We're talking about projects in things like cancer research and finding treatments for opioid addiction that are now at risk. And for businesses, the math has completely changed. This is wild. Reporting from EOS Global Expansion shows that for what it would cost to hire one tech worker in the US and pay this new fee,
A company could hire an entire team of senior developers in India. I mean, the numbers just speak for themselves.
And this really kicks off a global race for talent. While the US is making it more expensive to get in, other countries like the UK, Germany, China are basically rolling out the red carpet, trying to attract the exact same skilled people.
Okay, so what does all this mean for you? You need a clear playbook. Let's walk through what employers and workers should be thinking about right now.
All right, for employers. Step 1, and this is non-negotiable, talk to your immigration lawyer before you do anything. Step 2, if you can, hit pause on any new H-1B filings for workers who are abroad. Just wait for more clarity. Step 3, start running the numbers. What would this fee do to your budget? And step 4, look at your other options. Are there other visas? Can this work be done remotely? The bottom line for employers is simple. Pause, assess your options, and call your lawyer.
Now for workers, your mission is to get clarity. First, find out the exact filing date of your petition. That date is crucial. Second, have an open conversation with your employer and their legal team about your options. And third, this is a big one, I would avoid any non-essential travel outside the US until the rules for getting back in are crystal clear. And of course, I have to say this is all for educational purposes. It's not legal advice. You absolutely need to talk to your own attorney to confirm how this all applies to your specific situation. So, looking ahead, here are the 3 things you need to keep your eyes on this week. Number 1, any word from the court on that temporary restraining order. That's the big one. Number 2, any new official guidance from USCIS or the State Department. And number 3, watch what big companies start saying publicly about whether they're going to cover this fee for their employees. So, we promised at the start you'd know who pays, who's exempt, and what comes next. And now you do. But it leaves us with a much bigger question. As the US potentially prices itself out of the market for global talent, who's going to win the innovation race over the next decade? A court ruling could drop any minute, and you can be sure that as soon as it does, we'll be right back here to break it all down for you.